Welcome, guys, to another episode of More Than Tattoos. My name is Chris. This is my boy Tim. And we just decided to jump on here and go live tonight. We don't have any crazy major topics. We just kind of wanted to plug and play, see who shows up, see if you guys have any questions. We do have a little something we're going to touch on, and really just kind of share what the experience has been like, fucking podcasting so far. And we've got a couple awesome supporters on here already that's always checking shit out and giving us feedback, and that's dope. That means a lot. It means a lot, you guys. So I think that something that's really stuck out for me, that's heavy on my mind. Was our last podcast we had DJ Hoistler, dude, and I've always pronounced his name wrong until I listened to his podcast.
I have too. I really have, until you said it. I saw it in the notes, how you kind of had it in parentheses, to say it, and I was like,
what?
I was saying it out loud in my head, and I was like, I'm not gonna say anything about this until he just goes for it, and you did, and you murdered it, dude. You fucking killed it.
Nice. But yeah, during that conversation, one of the big things that stuck out to me, and the episode hasn't dropped yet, so a little bit of a spoiler alert, but you guys will be able to check it out here soon. DJ's an awesome dude. He's one of the leading animal eye surgeons in the world. Very knowledgeable guy, and just a real down-to-earth, person. And it was an awesome time. But one thing he mentioned was just sharing some small victories. And I think on my journey, I get caught up a lot in the bigger picture, where I'm going, what I'm working towards, that I really sometimes forget to share those small wins. And I think reflecting back on some of that time, if I would slow down to take more time to recognize those little baby steps that ultimately build the bigger picture, I think that I would find more joy in the process. And I'm all about learning on this show. I love the aspect of how we're approaching it, and not really coming at you guys like we're the fucking guys, and being able to utilize this platform to continue to grow myself. And we were talking, me and Tim, and he mentioned we had just below 1,000 total views on all platforms, audio platforms, YouTube, everywhere we post it. And in my head I was like, that ain't shit, bro. Like how many times we posted a piece of content and got that on one post.
Right.
So we was like, nah, let's just we'll find something else. But it clicked, and it kind of went back to just the last episode, and I was like, nah, fuck that. That's huge. It's a step in the right direction. So appreciate you guys for checking this show out. It helps us keep moving forward. Because I know there's people out there we're impacting, and we want to keep this bad boy rolling. So that just resonated a lot with me, man. That was probably the main piece of that conversation.
Yeah, and it's insane that I feel like that's a little nugget, right? It's like one of the, you get like a bunch of little nuggets throughout life, but you always hear to like stop and smell the roses, you know what I mean? Like I had this teacher growing up that was always like, fucking wake up and smell the roses or whatever. Wake up and smell the crayons is what she said.
Wake up and smell the crayons.
Yeah, such a weird saying to say, but even just from an early age, I was always being told to like, you need to slow down and be able to like appreciate everything that you've got going on around you. And I feel like I had maybe done too much of that at early points in my life. Now, having worked with you, it's been like fucking, I feel like 200 miles an hour up until maybe this last year, where I was able to like be more of a, let's slow down. Let's really like digest what we've even done up to this point. But to hear someone like DJ that's like just hit such a level of like doing shit that from our perspective, we're like, well, fuck, goddamn, how do I get to that point?
Yeah.
But even he's like, you just got to slow down sometimes. You have to have your small victories. You need to celebrate the little things, because you can see it in him. That if he hadn't done that, I don't think that he would be where he's at right now. And even after hearing him, and again, you guys will hear this all in the episode with DJ in it, but him saying that he doesn't really have a ton of like critical goals right now in his life. He's just taking those moments as they come, like the goals, but he's more just appreciating time with like his son, or his sons rather, and his wife, and going on trips and stuff like that. Like that's really his priority. So I don't know. It's kind of crazy to think that like in order to get to the point where you can't just take all those trips and stuff, you need to be able to like in the moment slow down. It's like, well, I can't fucking get there unless I'm going 4,000 miles an hour and like doing as much as I can, working 28-hour days, and so it's like I can't understand that, but I have to trust that there's something in it, and talking on the topic of what things I feel like I've gotten out of this podcast so far, and that's one of them, is like, when you can always say I'm going to remain a student until it's so easy to say that until someone says something you don't agree with or don't totally buy into, and be like, well, I don't fucking like that, I'm not going to buy into it. But he clearly has gotten to a point of success that it'd be silly to not trust the things that he's saying, or
Right.
that there's not something to it, right? So for me to take that, and sure, maybe I might take just parts of it, because we talked about that,
Yeah.
just taking parts of it that work for me, and applying that to my repertoire, my tool belt, if you will. Being able to do that is crucial, and I think that being in this podcast, like, it's kind of a rule. I'm not gonna like have someone on my show and be gracious to them and then just say that they're full of shit when they walk away. Like when someone comes on the show, I think they have value, but I don't know, just crazy. That's a little nugget, and you get told that everywhere, but how often do we really do it? To slow down and celebrate those small victories. But I mean, and to anyone listening to this, I see you, Trevor. What's up? Van Fossen up in there. Taya showing out. What's up? What are some small victories? Not like, I mean, I feel like I do take time to celebrate the big things. Like, DJ was even talking about, like, you should celebrate when you have a video that gets posted and gets like 1 million views or something. Go out to dinner or whatever. And I feel like I kind of did that. It was like a pat on the shoulder type deal when we had that happen. Granted, it was a lot of spicy comments on that post. But as a content creator, it's still a win for me. But what are some of the small wins? The things that you guys know that you don't celebrate, right? And like, I feel like every person has those things that off the rip. At least 5. Right.
Yeah.
Things that I could probably celebrate that more if I wanted to. I feel like the first 5 things that someone thinks about that they should celebrate and don't are probably the things they need to celebrate the most.
Yeah.
Right.
Bro, for me, mine is just waking up and having good health. I think about it all the time, but you hear a lot of people say that Jared, he was on the show. That was one of the first things he did in the morning, was just literally not even stand up and just sit on the edge of his bed and just count his blessings. And I think that, starting the day off like that would be a great way, versus hitting the 6:15 alarm and standing up like half out of it and rushing upstairs to get the kiddo ready for bed, to actually create that little bit of extra time to just really be thankful. Because, I mean, what are the chances of us even getting here and then making it as far as we have,
Right. Like, what are the odds of even being a person? Like, being a person
some like
today's
crazy,
age.
ridiculous number.
Right. I think Neil deGrasse Tyson had the numbers up, but he just said, all in all, you have a greater odds of not being a person than you do of being a person. So it's just crazy that we got here in the first place, and then, somehow ended up being a tattooer. You to doodle on people for a living, not to put it lightly. I think it's funny to say doodling on people, but
I think one of another thing that really stuck out about DJ, and I relate to this a lot, and one of his biggest lessons learned, and I say this a lot, and Taya, you're on here, I preach this right here, is just patience, and how often I get caught up in just wanting shit to happen fast, so fast that I'm not doing the vacations, I'm not doing the traveling, I'm not doing the fun shit because I'm fucking locked in. But really, in the grand scheme of things, if I'm playing all out, I got years, I got so much, I still got a lifetime and a half, 2 lifetimes to go, So 2024, I'm definitely gonna smell those motherfucking roses more, and celebrate. I want this year to be fun, But yeah, all good stuff, man. I've been having such a good time doing this show. It's really pulled me out of my comfort zone quite a bit. Um, what was I see my name up there. What does it say?
See,
Initially, Chris. Patience, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, buddy. Taya, we love you. You're
yeah,
awesome. Thanks for jumping on here.
yeah. Talk about growth. I feel like
Yeah.
Taya has grown. What it's crazy to even say this. It's like going on 3 years now, right? That
Yeah.
we've even known her.
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah, and still so young, and so much more time for things to develop, and you got the skills to pay the bills. You just enjoy the ride.
That's right.
What's Matt say up there?
He said, "Keep doing what you're doing. Definitely motivates me and helps me see things with a new perspective."
That's fucking awesome, man. We love you too, Matt. You're a good dude. Good dude, man.
I think he
Dude,
said,
man.
"Dude, man, bro, my guy." I think patience is my biggest downfall, business and personal life. Dude, I
Patience is
it's a
patience tough,
motherfucker, man. Because
We live in such a instant gratification world, and then you got Instagram and Facebook that you're comparing lives to, and sometimes it's gut wrenching, honestly.
it is, and we just dropped an episode this Monday talking kind of about that. We touched on goals a little bit, but we had gotten into a topic of not keeping up with people, and dude, something what he said, the kids them kids test it, and I fucking bet I don't have kids, but when I hear that, dude, I know there's still like people, like parents that get online and they compare their parenthood to
freedom.
right, or freedom. But I was gonna say they compare their parenthood to someone else's parenthood and like parenting methods and like how good or how bad they're doing, and you're still falling into this comparison trap. And I know that there's probably a couple things that are like over the top sensitive, and when I mean over the top sensitive, it's usually things you just don't talk about. Like it's like religion, finances, politics, and like how to raise someone's kids, right? Like you don't tell someone else how to
No.
raise their kids, right? But we still are falling into that a little bit. You know what I mean? There's
Yeah.
still like tons of like the Joneses of like being parents these days, but I don't know. And I don't mean that to come off as like anti-educational, because I think we preach education,
Yeah.
but you definitely can't be keeping up with these people.
Cody just jumped back on here and said, "What? I'm back. My kid was screaming."
Oh, that's fucking
we
funny.
were just talking about kiddos, and sometimes it can be tough, But I think that's just the perfect time to exercise patience, because that shit goes by fast. My 2-year-old's already 2.5, and the other day, I don't want to get into the kid stuff because I'll start getting fucking teary-eyed and shit.
Dude, every
But,
episode, man.
But that shit goes so fast. So I've definitely dialed it back a lot with business and trying to be fucking strive, because with Logan, man, I missed a lot, So it's definitely finding that balance, but if an opportunity pops up, it just you have to be willing to jump on it at the same time. And in business there is sacrifices to be made, and that's just part of the game. But I think we live in a time right now where maybe I can't speak for everybody, but the options are there, and I don't know. I don't really know where I was going with that. I don't think the point I was trying to make makes sense.
It's just complicated. It's so difficult because there's so many different angles to it, right? Because like I think all the opportunities that I had given to me throughout my career with you were still present when I wasn't receiving them. You know what I mean? But I wasn't in a place that was ready to receive them. So it's hard for me to say that I was like those opportunities were also available to me at that time, despite knowing that I could have done stuff. I was already, on topic with just like celebrating victories and stuff like that. It's no mystery that podcasting was my first goal before even working with you and like making content online. I just wanted to do that. But what was stopping me at that time? I asked myself that question every day. Every day that I don't stream and I didn't like fucking kill myself that day on working on other things, I ask myself like, well, why didn't you stream? Or like, why didn't you start? Because those things were all like accessible to you.
Well, I think on the outside looking in, it's really just bandwidth. Like, how much can you put on your shoulders at once, And I think anyone going to the gym for the first time ain't going to be able to stack up triple plates on each side,
Right.
And over time, those muscles are built up and developed, and they grow stronger, and you can carry more weight, and you got systems in place, and, you've developed enough to be able to add more to your plate and not necessarily work a lot harder, So, I mean, that's, I don't know if there's probably a few things that maybe contributed to that, but I think that's, I always preach you got to build the foundation, and you've told me like, dude, I don't know how you fucking handle everything, but it's like I couldn't always, it's just been piled and piled over time.
And that goes into the whole patience thing, because you even said this, like, and it's such a pain in the ass to hear this, I think, is like there's sacrifice in everything. You know what I mean? There's always a give and take to situations. So when you're like adding new things to your life, you don't always just add it. I feel like some things are usually getting subtracted unless you're just like so fucking good and optimal at like arranging your life in this perfect way. And, you have absolute control over everything in your time. I think otherwise you're just going to have to sacrifice things, or in other words, like fail some scenarios, because it's just part of the process. You can't be fucking Superman's not even really invincible. You know what I mean?
I'm fucking Kryptonite.
Right.
Cue Kryptonite by 3 Doors Down.
Yeah.
We were just
what a banger.
Keith was just talking about that the other day at shop, because someone put on some butt rock, like a butt rock playlist, and he was like, dude, if that song comes on, I'm gonna get upset.
That's tragic.
Well, you like that song?
I do.
One of your bangers?
Yeah, it's fucking good, man. 3 Doors Down, I think.
Was I right on the band?
Yes,
Yeah.
I think so. But that's like the thing for me is like all those things kind of like mesh together.
Yeah.
Like there's Kryptonite, there's I'm 6 feet from the edge and I'm thinking. Dude, that song's such a fucking banger. It is a banger. It was Cole. Cole put on the fucking cringecore.
He did.
Leave it to Cole.
He had such a wide range on his playlist.
He does. I give him that. But that boy also be listening to like some shanty, like they recorded the shit on a pirate boat. For real.
Oh, that's fucking hilarious.
But it's Creed. Creed, that's a good one.
Sense.
The one that I stay away from the most, I think, is Nickelback. If that's not obvious enough, it's just, and dude, don't even come at, this is such a like a not topic of this episode,
Yeah.
but don't even come at me with the whole like you actually like Nickelback and just don't like saying it. No, I just fucking don't. I don't fuck with it. Creed is so much better. 3 Doors Down is so much better. You can even slip on into like Red Jumpsuit Apparatus a little bit. They're even way better. But
that's fine.
I digress. So I did put down a couple of small victories of my own.
Yeah, man, let's hear 'em.
So let me bust out the trusty notes. I feel like podcasters are so afraid of having notes, but I'm tired of doing that. They're good for the.
Oh, wifey just jumped on here. What's up, babe?
Uh-oh. Let's see.
Why don't you come down and say hi?
Uh-oh. Let's see. What have you...
go-to jam.
Yeah, go to jam.
That's been tough for me, man. I really just put it on and numb out. I don't. That's a weird way to put it, but
No scrubs.
no scrubs.
Love No Scrubs. I've been stuck on that Linkin Park Jay-Z mashup album. It's so fucking
He
good.
gets hyped to it every time we're about to podcast.
I do. So, I think one of the major things that I've I guess it's major, but I want to put it in the small victory category because it's definitely not something that I celebrate enough when I encounter it, because I think I've gotten comfortable at telling you when I encounter it or telling the people in my circle that I am when I'm doing it, but I don't celebrate the embrace of it and what comes from it. But it's imposter syndrome. Because anyone that's listened to this show a lot, or people that are just in my life in the tattoo world, at least a quarter of the things I'm going to say start with, I'm not a tattooer, but but there's always a lot of value that I have brought into our business and the other people in our lives. But it's this, I'm always felt fighting this imposter syndrome as I'm saying it. Every time when I'm talking to Hip is one of the worst times. I don't know why. It's just I look up to him so much. I look up to tattooers, you know what I mean? You guys are my role models, but I'm not a tattooer myself, so it's hard to feel like I can have a part in you guys' lives and stuff like that. Even though I know that I do. I bring value, I bring benefit. But being on this podcast, it being a tattoo podcast and me being one of the hosts on it, I'm every episode fighting that imposter syndrome. Every time I say anything on this podcast, it's do you even have the right to speak on this? Because 99% of the people listen to it are tattooers, right?
Well, I don't know, because I think everyone on here right now is not.
Most people. I mean, I guess half, because Van Fossen and Cody Gossett aren't.
Yeah, Taya's a tattooer.
Yeah, Taya's what do you mean, huh? Damn, this is live, son. I can't even cut this shit out. He's just fucking with you. Come on. This is the fucking the grandma shoes all over again, bro. Everyone needs a Tim.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
That's funny.
Yep, and just I mean, this isn't no small feat right here, but just over the past 6 years of us working together, from where you were to where you are now, is fucking worlds different. You know what I'm saying? The amount of time, effort, and love you put into the business, yourself, growing yourself. Dude, it's fucking awesome to get to see and be a part of, for sure.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. I definitely feel different. That's a small victory in itself that I don't ever really reflect on. Is just how far and how different things are now.
Because it's over such a long period of time and a lot of the times it's so gradual. It's really hard to even notice.
It is. I mean, it's almost like a weight loss journey. You don't really notice how much weight you're losing day by day until you either get on a scale and you see the difference in numbers, the contrast in numbers, or you look at that before and after photo and you see the contrast. But it's every day that you look yourself in the face, you're not seeing something different. You're just that thing that's beyond, the voice in your head, the things that see things in your head, that being is just living into what you are currently. It's seeing yourself in the mirror. So, yeah, it's hard to break out of that and see things from the third perspective.
Yeah. Well, sometimes for me, it's hard to even want to, because I feel like I came from such a background of just you have to walk it, don't talk about it, almost don't even acknowledge it, just be it,
Right.
So celebrating those small victories has never really been something I've taken part in. Even the big stuff, I find myself not even celebrating the big stuff. We were talking about this earlier. A lot of times by the time you get to that big goal, you've already set the next thing. You've already found where you're going after that. So once you get there, it's so easy to downplay it because it's still not the big thing. You know what I'm saying? What are you reading, Cody's?
Yeah. You made me smile.
Yeah, man.
It's hard to, it's baffling to even hear that because it's like your relationship with a job. I know that from having worked that factory life and being a part of that shit is like, damn, you've been working there for how long? Like, fuck, I'm surprised you ain't quit yet or something. You ain't found nothing better yet. It's like those are common phrases for factory workers, and that's like where I came from. So to sit back and think that like I've been working for the same thing and working at the same thing, which I guess I can't even say that, because there's so many different things that we've done,
Yeah.
and I guess it all has contributed to the same thing, but or maybe it's just been one big build up to this, or maybe there's some bigger thing before us that we haven't even got to that maybe more than tattoos is going to lead us into. But I don't know. Again, small victory that I never celebrate is the amount of time that I have been putting into this. That like,
Yeah.
because it was in a lot of ways easier to be on a W-2. Like I don't ever have to think about taxes. Like I'm always gonna get a tax return. Um, there was just so much that was different about being a W-2, and I still struggle with that stuff. But I know that was a huge struggle of mine early on, and that was so difficult to share with you because you were the person that was clearly contracting me and paying me. But I was like, dude, I just don't know how to struggle. And looking back on it now, and even in the struggles of it, I can know that it's like, well, if you sit here and constantly just keep worrying about it, you're clearly going to be a self-fulfilling prophecy, and you're not going to work or provide value. You're not going to do the things that someone contracted you for if you're just constantly stuck in this like feeling of, oh, what if tomorrow like I don't have a job anymore, or what if like I break my hand tomorrow or something. You know what I mean? If you're just stuck in that like fucking,
It's a tough place to be.
right? I don't even know what to call it. Like it's not even paralysis analysis. You're just like stuck in fear.
Yeah.
If you're just stuck in fear, that you're not gonna like even finish the lap or to finish whatever you're trying to do.
Yeah.
And again, I feel like it's just part of it, But I was gonna say something before that, but celebrating big victories and stuff like that, or even small ones, and coming from the place that, the walk of life that you did is to just be it. Don't even talk about it. Don't acknowledge it. Just be it. I feel like there's a way of learning how to celebrate yourself, or maybe learning a way of being to hit some kind of level of success that you just don't know how to rewire that. You know what I mean? You must have to like rewire your brain to understand those things. And that's where a lot of my time has gone into this last few years. It's had to be like rewiring things, like manifestation. That's been a big one. And I know that a lot of people hear that word and they're like, oh, this is fucking woo woo. Like, they're going to start talking about actual nonsense right now as soon as you hear that word. But manifestation isn't just like, I'm going to say this thing out loud and then it's going to happen. It's such a big system of like, I'm going to say it out loud and now that I've said it out loud, like that's something I actually said, whether someone heard it or not, I don't know. But now I'm going to take that and now I'm going to tell someone else that I'm going to do this thing. And hopefully that person's going to keep me accountable. Like they're going to ask me about it. And I know that with my human self, when they ask me about it, whether they care or not, and I haven't done anything about it, or I haven't like pursued this goal of mine, I'm going to feel guilty in a way. Whether or not people acknowledge it, I think is a different topic. But when you get asked about a goal of yours that you spoke out on, like you said it out loud and you didn't do anything about it, I feel like you get guilty. I feel like there's a feeling of guilt within you that you didn't do something that you should. You didn't feel, you didn't do something you felt called to do. I don't think people speak on that enough, but that's like something that scares me. Like, and I hate that feeling. So I kind of use that to go forward, or I guess I've used that a lot in my relationships with people, is like the fear of I'm not gonna fucking experience that again, like the guilt of like I've got someone that cares enough in my life to keep me accountable, and I haven't done something, and now I'm
Yeah.
experiencing guilt because they actually thought something of me. You know, they thought I was gonna go somewhere and I didn't do anything with it. You know, that was a small tangent. I don't even know where that was going, but
just what it is
but
sometimes.
but that's been something that I have been faced with in this podcast. You know, with that whole
Logan was gonna come down and tell me good night. Come on, babe. Yeah, say hi to everyone. Oh. You didn't brush your hair first? Just playing. Love you. Good night. Sleep tight. Bye. Love you. But yeah, just something else on what you were just talking about there. I think there's a really good book that does a lot with rewiring, because I think that pretty much everything about us is just made out of habits, and we've done enough things a certain way that has basically programmed us, or we're just in the habit of seeing it a certain way, but it's that book Atomic Habits, and just developing the right habits to kind of get you out of that frame of mind, which fucking habits, again, that's another motherfucker.
Yeah, dude.
Most of us have this certain way of being our whole life, but that isn't always the right way, so it's something you notice and you're catching, and now it's on your radar, and you continue to catch it, and you're able to eventually reprogram, rewire, see things in a different light, whatever you want to say. But yeah, I don't know where we were going with that either, but that popped out and something you had said. And over the past 6 years, with all the hard work that we have done, there's been a lot of times to develop those habits and change things and build on those layers, and then you just got to start small. I think that for anyone out there who sees this as motivation or inspiring, again, I do this myself, and I try to catch myself as falling into that comparison game, but just knowing that when we started, we took some fucking baby steps, you know what I'm saying, and started from the ground, and have just been built and have been building and have been consistent over a long period of time, so anything can change, anything can happen. You just have to fucking one step in the right direction at a time, But yeah, you got some other stuff here in the notes here that you mentioned. Figuring out new goals, ways of overcoming struggles. I guess putting yourself out there. That's kind of imposter syndrome stuff right there, huh?
Yeah. So yeah, it kind of goes in with what I had just said, is confronting imposter syndrome head on, because there's been episodes I haven't wanted to push just because I haven't believed myself all the way, but I have, I think, exercised believing in myself through posting it. And the next thing was figuring out new goals and ways of overcoming those struggles. So it's like when I go to post, I have to produce, it's not like I can't post this episode. But that's not enough for me to move on from it. You know what I mean? Because I could just post it and say, fuck it. Like, whoever, cares about what I say, they can have backlash or whatever. What do I really have to pay, off of that? What do I have to lose? That's not good enough for me. I need to get something from it. I need to be learning something through this experience, or it's just a wasted opportunity. I experienced this feeling that I could build something on, build a foundation on, and I let it slip. So in that, facing the imposter syndrome, I found ways of like I said, just building goals around these things that I'm struggling with, and then finding ways to accomplish those goals that inadvertently make me feel better about the imposter syndrome. You know what I mean? Because it's so easy to have a struggle. I struggle with this one thing, or I struggle with this other thing. And then you just, talking about Atomic Habits, you just identify with that. You know what I mean? I think a common one we talk about is forgetting people's names. Like, I can never fucking remember people's names, But but are you doing anything to like actively work on that, or are you just allowing that to be an issue in your life? And to translate that over into like what I think I'm experiencing and other people doing that or experiencing this is, I don't believe all the way that I have the knowledge to help people. I don't believe all the way that I have the value that to provide other people when they're listening to the show. Um, but I've had to figure out ways to teach myself, or I guess remind myself, that I do have value and I do provide value. And those are the goals that I'm coming up with, you know what I'm saying? So, it was a small ramble. I think I started to lose myself a little bit, but, because I guess I just haven't thought exactly the ways that I've set those into goals, but it's like I will go through and read comments now. Like as I'm uploading this piece of content that I don't necessarily believe in myself all the way about, I'll go and like, and that's not necessarily, that's hard to say, I don't necessarily believe in just going to read the comments all the time to get your validating, feelings from. But there are people that have reached out to us. Cody Gossett's been one, that has, of his own fruition, of his own will, sent me messages to be like, dude, well, you have affected me in these ways. And, I just want to say I appreciate you. Things like that I've been like trying to catch, play the awareness game, like aware of it. And now I'll go and read those messages when I'm feeling like I don't have value, or like playing that imposter syndrome game with myself. So I don't know, just like finding new puzzles throughout this is giving me like a better habit of problem solving, I guess, on that emotional level, if that makes sense. That was pretty long-winded, but it's like a tool that I'm using in my life with everything now, with my personal things, my relationships with people, business and stuff like that. I'm like picking up on when I don't feel like I have value, or I'm playing that imposter syndrome game with myself, and then I'm realizing how to pick my value back up, or to remind myself I have value. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, and it's really been, it seems like it's been the journey, of over the past, again, since we started working together, just taking those small bits and internalizing them, part of me wants to take some of those comments, some of those messages, slap them bitches in that notebook on the vision board, something you could easily look at, but again, it's that just getting into the gym. Well, we're 12 episodes in, you know what I'm saying? So we're fucking brand spanking new here, and I can relate to that a lot, because prior to starting this, I've maybe listened to 3 or 4 podcasts ever. It's not something I did regularly. I never really have the aspirations of having a podcast. It's something that has grown on me recently, and obviously now that we're getting rolling, I'm feeling a lot better about it. I feel a lot more comfortable. And then sitting down and talking with you. You said a lot of times, sometimes when those long-winded stories that you talk about, sometimes it's hard for me to, I felt like I wasn't keeping up. I felt like I wasn't bringing enough to the table to match the pace, the energy, and that's something that I've tried to keep in my mind and make sure that I'm doing more to, the last thing I want to do is say, hey, Tim, reel it in. So,
right.
You know what I'm saying? I use that as the iron sharpens iron thing, and I use that as motivation to get better and grow. But we do have a question here. Christopher Jordan. This is probably a loaded question, but what as a content creator has been the biggest learning curve?
Yo, what up, Chris? Second Chris.
What up, Chris?
I work with him at iMart, dude. What's up? Appreciate you hopping in here.
He talks about iMart all the time.
Dude,
Jim
it's
does.
Fucking weird just to even say that I used to work at iMart.
Just last episode with DJ. Huh?
Oh, I wasn't I? Yeah, it's crazy. But what is as a content creator, what's the biggest learning curve? And I think that's
How do you pick just one?
I think I think that it's how to keep up. That's kind of hard, but you can learn how to use a camera to its fullest extent. You can learn how to take good photos, do the video thing, understand all of like the technical side of that stuff. You can learn how to edit videos. You can learn how to do all that stuff flawlessly, so you don't have to remember it. But keeping up with how to make good content that's gonna engage people, especially when we don't have fucking 15 tattoos coming out a week. You know what I mean? Now that might be a little specific to me and like where my journey has been with Chris, but yeah, I think just keeping up with Instagram as a whole or social media, because starting out, I think I was competing against just other tattooers. And I was at that space for a while, and I was just looking at just what other tattooers were doing and trying to be better than what they were. But now I'm like at a point where I'm looking at everybody. Like I'm looking at hairstylists, I'm looking at mechanics, I'm looking at meme pages, because I mean, we're in a weird world where I see at least 2 to 3 videos a day where someone is talking about how they make money on TikTok, and part of their process is going online and just recording other people's videos and reusing them, and they're making money. And those videos always have, I'm telling you, I swear, I'm sure other people watching this right now have seen them, but they'll go and record gameplay of like Grand Theft Auto and just put it below another video that they also just recorded from another piece of content, and then just edited it up like that and then posted it, and now they're on the TikTok shop, so they have products that they're selling, and they're making thousands because other people are making content. And that's the world that we live in, and these are the people that I'm literally competing with for time, because how do you compete with a meme? Or like someone getting like smacked in the fucking face with a shovel or something, That's something that normal people, and when I say normal, I just mean like, I guess every person on the planet. Yeah, every person.
I know when I get into the doom scrolling, I'm not doom scrolling tattoos.
You're not, right?
Unless I'm like going there with specific intent to study for a little bit to try to prep for a cool tattoo I got booked, or styles that I'm trying to move into. I'm usually for brief periods of time, because I try to catch myself.
Right. Right.
I don't have TikTok because it would probably just be on there too much. But I could definitely see that being a challenge to get that attention for sure. But so to answer that question, it was basically just trying not to use all your time to create content and creating systems to be able to just keep up.
It's like I tried to keep and it's kind of a mental system, you know what I mean? It's a physical system. I do take time to sit down on social media to check out what everyone's doing, to still do the same things. Instead of just looking at tattooers, I'm just looking at what people are doing as a whole, like the top videos, and I'm seeing what I can do to keep up with them while still having my creative thing, that I apply to it. But we had just talked about that on the episode that we released this week, is just keeping up with the people online, because dude, I'm constantly seeing people's content schedules and that what we should be doing and what we shouldn't be doing, and everyone's a fucking digital creator. Everyone's got the secret to like how to make content right, and everyone's got like these 10x rules, but finding that way to like keep up with people was fucking hard.
You see Cody's comment.
Question: average or above average? Above average. Above average every time.
You'll never know.
It's above. I don't know what we're talking about, but I'm just going for above average every time. I don't know. I mean, I guess I'm drinking a Truly right now, which is not above average, but the artwork above average, the content above average, the relationships priceless.
Oh man.
But I don't feel like we've heard one of your small victories. Yeah, well, we did at the beginning, but what's one of yours?
Oh, I knew you was gonna ask me this question.
Yeah, motherfucker.
Yeah, I know a lot of my big ones that I celebrated already, but in terms of small ones, oh, that's tough. Um, that is tough. Yeah, and that's why that conversation really impacted me so much last time because I don't smell the roses enough. I think that one thing that I do really hold close to me is just my family time, which some days can easily be taken for granted, but um, being able to have multiple days off throughout the week and you know as much as I don't like to sometimes waking up and getting the kiddo ready for school or putting my girls to bed every night, those are daily small wins for sure. um,
It's like Cody just said. I feel like that's like a truly a large small victory because I mean it's the it's the sum of the whole. You know what I
yeah,
mean? That is what is important. It's when you look back on a life and you don't think to yourself like, "Damn, I work too much." You know, that's not ever going to happen. No person ever gets to that point and says, "Damn, I work too much," when they took time off. And when I say time off, I don't mean like just being lazy.
yeah,
I mean like taking intentional time off. Like, there was one old episode that we talked about that, and I talked about like needing to like I'm trying to have boundaries with like when I should be relaxing, when I'm not,
yeah,
and I feel like that has more than so many other things paid off for me because I'm really good at like turning that switch on and off, like when it's time for me to go fucking buck hard and when it's time for me to not.
Taya, do you agree with that?
Dude, yeah, I agree with that. Um, but I feel like I have gotten pretty good at that. Granted, I struggle with keeping that switch on a lot. The trying to go super fucking hard all the time. But that's just like kind of it's something you have to grow into. I think because starting out, dude, I lost several good friendships and relationships as a whole just because I fucking was working. I was editing videos up until like 4 in the morning, and fucking and I was editing videos up until 4 in the morning, and then getting up at 8 so that you could pick me up at fucking 8:30 or whatever time it was we were going to L9.
Yeah,
I did that for such a long time that it was like that's what I understood what was paying off for me. And it's not that I wouldn't now,
yeah,
but it's you get burnt out. You know what I mean? You're a being, you're a creature. You can't. And I fucking human beings didn't come into this world to edit videos.
yeah,
I can tell you that. And as much as I love doing it, and I love the creating content shit, and like work on my camera, fucking with all the gadgets and stuff, it's my thing. It's my dig. But I was meant for something more than that.
yeah.
I was meant for relationships. I was meant for eating good food. I was meant to breathe the fucking air on this planet. You know what I mean? Like, I think those are a lot of the greater things that call to me, but you don't see that unless you slow down, you
Uh,
know?
yeah, and I do think in any journey, there again, back to the sacrifices. I think that you have to find that ground where it's not the normal amount, because the normal amount you see where a lot of people end up with that. Um, but there is a workload that will for sure run you into the dirt, and it's finding that middle ground, and then being creative and developing ways to buy back your time. Um, and being able to get into that space where, sweet, we can slow down now. Um, and more so, I get the main reason I do is just because of the family. I wanna slow down for that, but there for sure be a time where it's like, okay, kick this bitch back into gear and take off. But I love my downtime, man, and I definitely don't take it for granted. And I'm very grateful for the clients that have been placed in my life, and the people I get to work with, and everyone on the team that, man, make things a lot less stressful because I'm surrounded by the right people, which is huge. and even just mentioning a few minutes ago how friendships were lost, people fell off. Uh, I think that's important. Sometimes it hurts. There's a lot of people that I don't talk to anymore that I hope don't necessarily take it personal, but just headed in a certain direction. Um, I don't know.
Well, I was, just to maybe tie that off in a nice bow. I was having a pretty impactful conversation recently with somebody that was kind of about that, and it was about people that I had to kind of take time away from, so to speak, or just to be away from. And I had to have that talk kind of with that person or one of those people, and I was super nervous about it. It was just because it never feels good, you know what I mean? It never feels good to have to say, I don't know what to do in that situation. I just know that I'm not gonna be able to accomplish the things that I desire accomplishing in this world while we're in each other's lives. And that person told me that with respect and love and understanding that, like, with some people you just have to love from a distance.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's that. I don't know if there's ever like it for every person. It would just feel good if you could talk and say these things to those people and be like, it's not personal, and then hear them say like, I know, and it's all love. That's like what would feel the best to a person, right? But you don't always get that,
Yeah.
and you got to be okay with that. And that's where intent is so strong. If your intent is like airtight and you know that you're doing things for the right reasons and you only want the best for yourself and everyone else around you, you can't do anything more than that. You have to make hard decisions in life, but you have to fucking have the right reasons to back it too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that was just, I think, things don't ever get easier with that either. So I don't want to say that and just make it seem like that thing becomes easy. But
Yeah.
you just
Sometimes it's the relationship lost forever. But I think if you lead with the right heart and you show, a lot of times it can just be for a season. It can just be for a season in your life. That's tough.
I agree. Yeah. Fucking deep ass conversation to get into on this show.
Yeah, that's usually how it goes, man.
Yes, it does.
What is that? What's that? Sandocello? I feel like with tattooing, it's so easy to work until you burn out. I think that anytime you want to put out top tier artwork and then also tattoo the fucking best tattoo you can, it's so easy to just be fired up and get in there, and next thing you know, you're 10 hours in on a tattoo and you're like, you know I've been burnt out so many times, but in that place I still find myself grateful because, like, dude, I could be burnt out, like you said, doing stuff that's a lot worse, a lot
Yeah.
harder. Some days I look at these hands, I'm like, man, they're awfully soft. But
I find myself putting myself in check a lot. Because, I mean, I'm still human. I get frustrated with shit. I lose my temper. I don't ever want to, like, get to a point, maybe with this podcast or something, and just have any one person on this planet look at me and feel like, oh, he's perfect. He's, he never does anything wrong. He's always cool, calm, and collective. He can never do anything wrong. I would hate to end up in that place of life. But I feel like I'm getting so much faster at putting myself in check and being like, dude, you're surrounded by the best people on the planet. Like, and I'm sure, I would hope that every person ever thinks that way, just is always thinking they're surrounded by the best people. I've got the best family. I hope everyone feels that way. But that's, like, for me, what puts me in check when I'm, like, taking things for granted is, like, remembering the people in my life. It's like, dude, you're surrounded by such good people. Like, you can actually say that you love your personality, like you love yourself, you're not unhappy with yourself, unless it's like, accountability things. Like, I know that I need to do better here, I need to do better here, but it's never out of a lack of patience. But
Cody's funny, man.
dude, he is fucking funny. Haven't said discern yet. Discern. I was told about that shirt.
Yeah, I told him about it. We definitely want to get some more merch ideas up, and we were going to, and I feel like we're pretty far in,
Yeah, we fucked up on that.
Yeah, and I was thinking that, at that point in time, I was thinking we were going to go live on my personal IG, and I feel like that would have been more impactful, but, yeah.
To be fair, I don't think either one of us shared it to our page.
Yeah.
I meant to. I forgot to.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think this is cool too. I think this is fine too for me anyway, because being the first live that we've ever done, and still having people show up and communicate and engage.
Well, especially the people that are here. I mean, every one of them, we know really well, and our blessings in our life, so that's dope. I think that's fucking awesome that you guys are here hanging out with us.
Right. And I think for like just, again, small victories and acknowledging them as they come, is just being at this small point with the podcast right now and doing a live like this and being able to connect with people, one-on-one like this, or, being able to see Doug's name and be like, I fucking know Doug. Doug's the fucking GOAT. And shit, because I like streaming and I watch big streamers, and they get to a point where they have thousands and thousands of people watching them.
Keep up with the comments.
You can't keep up with them. You know what I'm saying? So when we upload content and it has tons and tons of fucking comments on it, or we go live like this and it's got tons of shit and you just can't keep up with it. You can't like get the time to like connect with that name and that face as it's going. You need to be able to acknowledge and appreciate that shit now, before it's gone. Because I've had that thoughts like about being a streamer, because I want that. I want the numbers, like everyone wants the numbers, you know what I'm saying? But it's what comes from the numbers that people want, I think. But what you're sacrificing that is being able to have those relationships like we have right now.
Yeah. We were gonna do a raffle when we got to 100 subs, but I think that instead of doing a raffle, because we were gonna raffle off, get to 100 subs, we were gonna select, I think it was 5 or 6 people to send free shirts to. But anyone who left a comment on these videos, I think we're gonna send you guys a free shirt.
That's fucking right.
So we'll shoot you guys a message and get some shipping info from you guys, and within the next couple weeks we'll have something sent out to you. We'll get a shirt size from you too. So just to show some appreciation for you guys jumping on here.
Yeah,
that'd be dope.
Yeah, dude. I just appreciate everyone. This is the coolest thing that I've ever been able to be a part of, and it seems like every day I'm just doing a little bit more of that. It may not be as like momentous every day, that we celebrate those small victories, but this has got to be the coolest community I've ever been a part of so far. But I'm just grateful. Size medium.
I got you, babe. I got you. I'll hand deliver that motherfucker.
Right, you're lucky enough to get the hand delivery on that one.
I might even put a nice little bow on it.
Shit, you're gonna throw out your whole wardrobe, Cody. I'm gonna have to come up with some merch on my own to fill it up. No, I don't really. I said this at the beginning. I've said it a couple times in the shows. Podcasting was my initial goal. And to be honest, when I was saying that at the beginning, I didn't really know what I was going to do with it. I was just thinking it was going to be a comedy thing. I'm just going to be able to do something that makes me happy and make other people laugh. And I'm going to be able to make a living out of it, or like a life out of that. But I couldn't have possibly anticipated it was going to be like as dumb as it sounds, is like real people. Like, I didn't know I was going to be affecting real people's lives, or there was going to be real people that actually cared and listened, because just being funny, it's like, I think people only need laughs for as long as they need laughs. But I think in the way that we might be impacting, I don't know for sure, you have to leave a comment and let us know that you are impacted. But in the ways that I think we are impacting people, it's more than just a laugh, or more than just like for as long as they need it. I would like to think that I'm leaving a mark on people, that they're just going to be changed. They're going to reflect on those small things.
Yeah. Yeah, and for some of you guys that are in here right now, and I'll take it however we can get it. I'm beyond grateful. But they're on each platform. There's places to leave Google reviews, drop comments, shares, likes on each platform. That stuff helps out so much. We all blame the algorithm for everything, so that stuff helps. It'll help more people see what you guys are seeing, and hopefully affect them like it is for you guys. So definitely that would help a lot.
For sure,
It would help a lot. So moving here into 2024, man, what's on your? I know we've talked about this a little bit with the goals, but what's top of your radar right now?
Top of my radar is seeing how far this podcast can go. Next to that, right underneath that, and that was kind of a vague. And we had wrote down these goals, like the actual numbers and stuff on paper, but, dude, if this podcast has got like 100,000 before the end of this year, dope. You know what I mean?
100,000
like,
what? Views? Subs?
Dude, if the channel, YouTube, and if we've got like average 1,000 listeners, right now I think we're sitting at 70 average viewership on.
Small victory for sure.
Right. But 70 people averagely listen to this stuff. That's pretty wild for me.
Yes, sir.
Other than that, I want to, obviously have goals with your brand. I want to see your brand get to certain numbers. I'm really hoping that before the end of this year we can get to 30K on Instagram. That's doubling our current Instagram following. And I think my third biggest goal, without getting into finances and stuff, because I got big financial goals too, but I want to play in Melee tournaments. I was starting this goal out saying just a tournament. Well, one like digital tournament and then one in-person tournament. But dude, by the summertime, I think I just want to be being in tournaments. Like, I just want to, I don't know about once a month, but at least once every 2 months. I want to be starting to stretch that muscle, because right now it's just been like a lot of practice and building up when I have time for that. But there's no one I'm pitting myself up against, kind of like when I think about it in a business sense, day in and day out, we're really kind of pitting your content against everyone else's, and the fact that you get inquiries is my victories, I guess you could say, is people are actually submitting tattoo ideas for stuff that Chris wants to do. Dope. That's a victory for me. But talking about my aspirations for being a good Melee player and stuff, I'm not going out and stretching myself. I'm not putting myself up against anything. The product that I have that I'm trying to sell people, I'm not putting it out there or doing anything with it. So I think those are my three main things, which is, most people don't really fucking know. And I say Melee and people don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about.
I for sure don't.
I know that you don't. But Smash Brothers, it's a fighting game, but it's from goddamn, I think it got made in 2001 or 2002 or
I'm sure they've updated it over the years.
Yeah, tons and tons. There's so many new games out there. I just like that one in particular because it's still got such a it's got such a lively crowd. People are still playing it, and when you watch those crowds, people lose their fucking minds.
Yeah.
Sports events and shit like that, but it's people playing Melee, but you have to be in it to get it. Yeah. You gotta be in it to get it.
Have you seen that? Have you seen that new quote unquote sport that is taking the internet by storm? It's basically put two people around a table and they just smack the piss out of each other.
Oh, slapping. Slapping, dude, it's gotten really big. But dude, those people get fucked
They
up.
blow every sport, every live event, like as far as views online, obliterates them,
Does it
obliterates.
does it really?
Yeah, just demolishes
I mean,
NFL, UFC, all of them. Just knocks them out of the water.
that's crazy. That's crazy because I mean, I feel like fighting is pretty big. And it's like border on fighting, right? Because you're like hitting people. There's like chalk in people's hands and shit. You get the fuck smacked out of you, and like you just see like this big cloud of smoke. So it's got this like intensity to it that's kind of like fighting. But when you watch those videos, it's actually rather, what's the word? Not hostile, like docile. That's the word I was saying. It's like rather docile, because they're very professionals. You know, they just up there slapping the fuck out of one another.
Yeah.
But I don't know how you could do that. I mean, I was just watching one of Teo's clients, Jade Sheely. She's a fighter.
Yeah.
I watched her fight recently, and it's like a lesser known fact about me. I actually like watching fights and stuff. I don't know why.
Gets that blood pumping.
It does, but I also know now that it comes a lot from like understanding that fighters, when they're in the ring, they're like really thinking about what they're doing. You know, they're being very
tactile.
Yes, very tactile. And that's kind of what Melee is for me. It's like you're being very tactile. It's not like it's not cheesy, you know what I mean? Because there's other fighting games you could cheese people, so you have to be very, very intentional about what you're doing, and in that you can be you can show a lot of characteristics in that. But I was watching Jade fight, and it was like there was an illegal strike where the girl had like kicked her in the head or something, but she got fucking rocked, like kicked in the head. And again, it's a legal kick. You're not supposed to be doing shit like that, but that's stuff that can happen. And one of the announcers even said it. It was like, you know, if you're in the ring and someone's about to snap your arm in two, I can only imagine you're going to, you know, you're going to try to get out of it. You know what I mean? Maybe you won't tap, but you're going to do something else. But, dude, kudos to people like that. I couldn't imagine getting fucking hit in the head like that. That's unbelievable. Yeah, I fucking straight up got a concussion from it.
Yeah.
Oh, she's actually going to be at the shop tomorrow. That's crazy.
Also, Taya, you're on here. I haven't put it on Shop Talk yet, but Jake the Snake will be in the rest of the week with us tatting, doing a little guest spot action. But yeah, man, for me, and I harp on this a lot, and I know I do, and I just can't help it. You know, I feel like I fall short in this area a lot. You don't know how many times I've said sorry, you know, and I actually have meant it and tried to work on changing, but I'll sit down and I'll go to write out my goals, and it just like every time I just come back to husband and father and just being the best I can be, you know. So for me this year is like having more planned days with the kids and the family, and you know, doing another trip or two or a couple vacations and try to plan out some fun stuff. Because I've been so caught up in the grind that the only vacation we've probably taken in the past, we went to Disney, but that really wasn't a vacation. I lost like 14 pounds on that trip. And when we got married, we went out to Glacier National Park. You know, but I did feel rejuvenized when I came back. You know, so for me, it's making sure I'm creating that time with the kids and doing fun stuff, and you know, even with the shop, do more fun stuff with the shop, have more outings, have more planned events, parties, hangouts, cookouts, whatever. But I really want that to be a bigger part of this year. Yeah, I think that yeah, just what DJ was talking about, is creating those days to let loose. You know, definitely want more, and I'm not talking about just days off, hanging out at the house. Like, I really want to do something fun, you know.
Something memorable.
Yeah.
You know, so you can make memories out of it.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
And to me, it rejuvenized.
Rejuvenized. Thanks, bud.
There's that second T-shirt.
We got
idea.
another shirt.
Fuck yeah. But you know, just maybe to celebrate a small victory for you, because I feel like you're doing good on that goal already. You already got a trip planned.
Yep.
coming up, right?
Yep. Going down to Jamaica.
It's a pretty big one.
Yeah, we booked a nice little spot. I tried to get one of the cabanas out on the water. Like, you got to walk out the long deck, and like they got the hammocks over the fucking like crystal blue. But
Oh my god.
those were like $13,000. So I was like, nah, we'll settle for. We did get a pretty nice room though. It's like right on this big pool, so like you walk out onto your like balcony terrace. It's not really a balcony because it's ground level, but steps right down into the pool. And the beach is right there. I mean, crystal blue. I mean, it's gonna be dope. We're going
Dude.
for 4 nights. But much needed. You know, it was either that or that Ink Carnival cruise, or the Inked at Sea, which looked pretty fun. But I don't like oceans, and I feel like cruises are it's a petri dish. Like, everybody's using the same fucking handles and buffets, and
Oh yeah, and
you know,
it's
it just seems like you're gonna get sick.
that's
And-
a whole thing of its own. And we actually have people in our life that have gone on cruises and they get sick. We like see it time and again happen.
Yeah.
Now take that experience and then throw a bunch of tattooers on that boat. We're like, there's so much fucking bio going on in that
Yeah,
fucking
I'm
boat.
good, you
It's
know.
literally a bio boat.
It did look fun though. There's gonna be some heavy hitters there. You know, it could have been cool to actually tattoo at, but nah. You know.
Seems like a lot.
And then there was a convention I was invited to in Hunts Vegas, and Katie wasn't stoked about that. You know, and I don't blame her. You know, we want to go as a vacation to a tattoo convention all weekend.
That
That's
does not sound like a
yeah, you
vacation at
know.
all. Even if you're like not tattooing, if I was going and my partner was just tattooing the whole time,
Fucking bored, you know.
dude,
So
I
was
would
like,
try to find ways to keep myself entertained. But with as many times I'm sure Katie has done that with you.
Yeah. So I was upset for a very short period of time. I was like, nah, you're right, babe. Well, let's go do something funner. So yeah, that's planned for sure. I think we're gonna try to get a Disney trip in for the kids. I think the kids will enjoy it.
Oh, Hip ain't
I
gonna
really
fuck
don't.
with
I really
that.
don't know where else. You know, we got Great Wolf Lodge, but again,
I feel like
nah.
that's just dwindled over time. Because
Yeah.
did you ever go there as a kid?
We not as a kid, but we went there a couple years back with Logan. It was a good time, but I don't know, you
Dude,
know.
as a kid, it was awesome. It was
Yeah.
so rad as a kid. Not to mention, like, I think I went in. Is it Kings Island? That's like right there, or is it Cedar Point?
Yeah, Kings Island's right next
Is
to
it? I think we had gone there and stayed there. I think we were there for like 3 days or something like that. But going to that indoor water park was the fucking coolest thing ever at the time. But now it's like you see
Yeah.
reviews about like the bed bugs and
Yeah,
shit. And it's
yeah.
like
I think a shop trip to Cedar Point would be fire.
dude.
I've never been, but I would be so down to go. I fuck with roller coasters.
I'll hold it down at the bottom. I can't do the roller coasters no more, dude. That's so sad for me to say, but there's just been too many people that have been hurt and like accidents. Dude, there was like 2 years ago where people like, can we book a shop trip? Yeah. Dude, I would be down. I would be super down, but
What's Grace's schedule look like?
that's what we gotta book it around. Where's Grace even at? She ain't even on the show.
Yeah, I'd be down for sure.
As long as they got a Chinese spot.
A Chinese spot.
Yeah, somewhere where we get some
What,
good
some,
food.
like Panda at Kings Island.
Yeah, baby. You know I'd be holding it down at that fucking Panda Express of the Kings Island.
Oh.
Yes, sir. And I'll murder all the fucking games too.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm good at carnival games. I just don't like. I don't go
fucking
and play
full.
them because it's such like a trap for money and shit. And I like, what's a grown ass man gonna do with fucking a bunch of teddy bears and shit? You know what I mean?
We'll take Matt and Sam with us.
Oh, that'd be so sick. Oh, we gotta take
Yeah.
Cody too.
Cody, that's gonna be an expensive trip for you, bub.
Oh, you're gonna have
He's
to
in
come all the
Florida.
way up. Yeah, bring all the kids up and shit. Yeah, you got a big trip. Dude, something I want to do this year, because I did it a couple years back. Well, I guess I did go to a cabin trip last year, but it was like pretty short lived. We didn't even we wasn't able to get into the cabin until like fucking 4 or 5 in the afternoon,
Yeah.
and we had
And then
to
you guys
leave.
just playing Magic all evening. I would
We
imagine.
didn't.
No.
No surprise. And that I think that would have made different memories, but I was like cooking the whole fucking time, you know. But I want to go get a cabin, and I want to stay there for like 2 or 3 days, and I don't want to be stuck behind the fucking grill the whole
Yeah.
time. Like I want to have the opportunity to like get in the hot tub and then like go hiking and then maybe get back in the hot tub later if I want to, and then wake up and do something different.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, we have to plan that one for springtime, early summer, so it's not blazing cold.
oh yeah. I mean, I don't hate it in the middle of the summer.
Unless we went down to like the lower Appalachians, like down towards the Carolinas maybe or somewhere. I feel like they kind of end out right there in North Carolina. It's still gonna be cold. You don't mind the cold?
I mean, I don't. Depends on what time it is, you know what I mean? Like in the year, like if it's like right before we get into summer, I think I'm gonna be able to do that really well. Like in a space like that, because it's gonna be cold, but it's like gonna be getting okay.
Yeah.
What I can't do is when it's like above 105,
Yeah.
or when it's below like 20.
Yeah.
Like below 20 degrees. I don't mean like below 20 or 20 below. Because
Yeah.
if it's 20 below, you got me fucked up. I ain't leaving the
Yeah.
house.
Cody, we'll let you know when we go. I think it'd be fun. Big old trip, bunch of people. I think it'd be a good time.
I think so too.
You fuck with roller coasters, Cody?
What to say?
It's hard for me to see the comments. From
Give
here.
it is a little bit difficult, isn't it? Something for us to fix later on. We need to get a monitor set up for
Yeah.
too long and then just do the show on that end. But Busch Gardens pass holder dog.
I've been to Busch Gardens quite a bit, out towards Virginia. That was the place. My grandma's from Virginia. A lot of my family's from out there, so we went there a lot. Six Flags. I think it was Six Flags, and then became Busch Gardens.
What's Busch Gardens?
Just like an amusement park. Just a
I see. I don't think I've ever been to Six Flags with that old man. Remember the commercial?
no.
I feel like it was a commercial, like an old man that would dance on these Six Flags commercials. Does anyone remember that? I can't be the only one.
It's an odd memory to hold on to.
Oh, mixed with a zoo.
Oh, that's dope.
That is crazy. I think a zoo would be sick too. I've only been to, and DJ was just saying that after he was like working. I'm trying to get one of those visits. How can I get in with
Like
DJ?
behind the scenes, like
Right.
actually looking into.
I should
animals'
just say
eyes.
that to him. But like, dude, the next time you know you're gonna have a visit to like the Cincinnati Zoo or something,
Can I put on some fancy work clothes and shadow you?
right? I will dress like Steve Irwin and go with you.
That'd have been so funny if you did that.
It would have, but I can totally like. Could you imagine? See, that's why I love DJ. One of the top the animal eye surgeons in the whole world, and he still has the humor to be like, I know that it would be funny if I put on this fucking crocodile hunter shit and then went to like actually check on a crocodile or an alligator at the Cincinnati Zoo.
Yeah. Yeah, we definitely have some fun shit to plan for sure. Sooner the better. You know, I think that even if it's something small, soon, you know, versus Cedar. I mean, Cedar. You ain't gonna want to go to Cedar Point right now. Shit's so cold up there, blowing off that lake.
Oh yeah, you got me
But,
fucked up.
But definitely something. Something soon. Well, we got your dinner coming up.
We do. We have to
Yeah.
figure that out, but
Yeah.
that and that'll be cool. That's something that's fun. But I think it would be dope to do kind of what we was just talking about, and obviously that takes a lot of work to figure that out. But like get something where like the clients and us can all go.
Yeah.
Like it's like a bunch of us, just homies. You know what I mean?
And you guys got any good ideas? I don't do a whole lot of shit, so I'm like, well, we got the skating rink and the bowling alley.
Oh, see, that would be good. That's up my alley.
Go kart track.
Get everyone to dress up like Mario Kart characters.
Where's a good go kart track at? The only one I know of is Scene 75, and I wouldn't say that was good.
It's okay, but it's like one of the better ones you can get, or it's like one of the most accessible
Taya said
ones.
laser tag.
Oh, fuck that, dude. I would do paintball. Because at least with
Tim's trying to
paintball,
fuck people up.
fucking facts, dude. Because
He's
y'all,
like, I love you, but
right, yeah, I'll fucking straight unload on someone I love. But it's like laser tag. Do you get shot? You can't shoot somebody else, okay? And I'm not talking this paintball bullshit where you get shot once and you are down. No, you're gonna have to put me down with a paintball gun, because I'm gonna unload on you. For sure. Or like airsoft. Did you ever do that as a kid?
Airsoft, yeah.
Yeah, I used to fuck it up in airsoft.
I think there's a good outdoor one in Columbus. Are they open year round?
Buckeye Raceway.
Buckeye Raceway.
That's what Cody says.
Yeah, Cody knows all about that car shit and driving fast.
Pent up rage shooting. Well, you don't know the story. There was one time, I think it was me, Taya, her brother and his wife went out laser tag, or we went to Scene 75 and we was playing laser tag, and I was just like, dude, I'm a fucking gamer, so I thought I was gonna fucking lock this shit down. It's easy for me. And I go in and I get blasted. There was like 2 straight minutes where I was just getting shot. And it was just the 4 of us in this like laser tag room.
Yeah.
So I'm down there like losing my shit, like yelling and shit. Like, fuck this bullshit. I can't even fucking shoot no one. I can't fucking stay alive long enough. Oh my God. So I don't do laser tag. You're going to catch me on that paintball field with like mattresses for walls and shit.
Tim's out here just getting obliterated by 6-year-olds in laser tag.
No, it was 3 people that were camping me. All adults.
Oh, that's good stuff, man.
Chuck E. Cheese. I went to a Chuck E. Cheese recently for a kid's birthday party, and I cheated the basketball
you didn't
game.
get sick, bro.
I'm surprised. I didn't stay there long. Definitely didn't touch a whole lot of shit. I started the basketball game, and then I just put my hand over and was like, ding, 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 just like racking up points.
Well, we'll brainstorm some more and try to find something fun to do. But we've been on here for a little while, man. You got any final thoughts or anything we want to wrap up with?
I think just doing this kind of like mini check-in at 12 episodes. It seems like you would want to be doing this like 100 episodes, like a big 100 or a 50 episode check-in. But I'm just stoked to have the people that we have right now that are paying attention to what we're saying. The people that are like reaching out and telling us that they're listening to us and that we are making an impact. Excuse me. I'm just thankful for where we're at right now, and I want to celebrate that. So just gratitude for everyone. I think we spent a lot of time on this show trying to, like, without being the guys, like, try to provide value and stuff in terms of, like, things that they can use and actually apply to their lives. But if maybe for a moment I just say, like, thank you. I just appreciate it.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. And, we do got a couple more guests this month. We have a few guests that we've had episodes with that we haven't dropped yet. There'll be some good ones to check out. Specifically, I'm excited about the Jared one. I think that tattooing does need some stricter, I don't want to say guidelines, but rules. I don't know. I'm excited to share that one with you guys. I think that there's a lot in the industry that has yet to really been put out there for the clients to see, and may influence some people to do some different kind of research around tattoos, just to kind of educate the clients, because I feel like out of all the tattoo content, there's really not a lot of content that is catered specifically to clients and collectors. So I'm excited about that one. But then, we got one coming up with Josh Wiley. That's going to be fun. really no agenda other than talking a little bit about Cyan and just kind of picking his brain and just trying to have a good time with it. And then Bryn, beginning of February, that's going to be really fun. So we got some good stuff headed your guys' way. So make sure you got those notifications on and you check out the podcasts when they drop, the episodes when they drop, you know. So yeah, man, I appreciate the shit out of you guys too. And if there's anything we can do for you guys, let us know. We'll be in contact about address and shirt sizes because we're gonna get some stuff sent out to you guys, a little care package. I think that'd be cool. But yeah, well, you want to jump on the Patreon?
Yeah, I think it's been a good episode. Fun little live. Obviously, I think this is a little bit looser than most of our episodes go, but
Yeah.
Hopefully we did provide some kind of value to you guys. Hopefully showing up for you guys, knowing that you guys know that you are a part of this. You know, it's more than just us, you know, more than tattoos. But appreciate you guys for just showing up, you know, when you can, how you can, and just being yourselves.
Yeah. For any of you guys that don't know what Patreon is, you guys should look into it. We post a lot of different kind of content on there, maybe a little bit behind the scenes stuff or just some funny stories where we kind of let loose a little bit more than we usually do on the podcast. And to be a part of the Patreon, it's $1 a month. You know, so come hang out, come have some fun there, and we'll fucking try to make you guys laugh a little more. But awesome. Well, like Tim said, we appreciate the shit out of you guys, and we will be doing this again sooner than later. This was fun. So yeah, I'm Gucci.
I'm Gucci too.
Okay.
Without further ado, this has been another episode of More Than Tattoos and Alive at that. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. You know where to find our socials and shit. You know what I mean? Check out. Obviously, this is live, so you don't see the description below. But if you're watching this on YouTube or listening to it on an audio platform, you can find that in the description below. And yeah, can't wait to jump into this Patreon and hope you guys have a wonderful week.
Yeah, love you guys.